I'm lying on the ground. I can't move. My cheek is pressed against something sharp. A rock maybe. It hurts. Everything hurts. But I can't move, not even a finger, not even to blink. Because 20 meters away from me, I hear it. The sound of a shovel cutting into earth. Scrape, thud, scrape, thud. He's digging. He's digging my grave. And he thinks I'm already dead. My name is Sarah. I'm 8 years old. And if I move right now, even breathe too loud, I'm going to die for real. 6 hours ago, I was picking between strawberry and chocolate ice cream at the corner store. Mom said I was old enough to walk there alone. 3 blocks from school. I'd done it before. It was safe. That's what everyone thought. The store smelled like sugar and old newspapers. I had $2 in my pocket. Mrs. Chen behind the counter was reading a magazine. I remember the bell above the door jingling when someone walked in behind me. I didn't turn around. Why would I? It's a store. People come in and out. That's normal. I was staring at the freezer trying to decide. Strawberry was my favorite, but chocolate had these little cookie pieces in it. I was thinking about cookies when I heard the voice. Hey, sweetie, can you help me find my cat? I turned around. There was a man standing there, tall, really tall. From where I stood, he looked like he touched the ceiling. He had this smile. It looked wrong. Like when you put a Halloween mask on, but the mouth doesn't quite fit right. His eyes didn't match his smile. They were flat, empty, like a doll's eyes. But I was 8. I didn't know how to explain that feeling in my stomach. That twist. That voice in my head screaming, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. My cat, he said again. His voice was soft, gentle even. She ran into the alley. I can't find her. Can you help me look? Please. She's scared of grown-ups, but she likes kids. I should have said no. Mom always told me, never go anywhere with strangers, never. But he looks sad. And I loved animals. I wanted to be a vet when I grew up. I had posters of puppies all over my room. Last summer, I'd found a bird with a broken wing and kept it in a shoebox until it could fly again. How could I leave a scared cat in an alley? What if it got hit by a car? What if it was hurt? Okay, I said. But just for a minute, I have to get home. Mrs. Chen didn't even look up from her magazine. The bell jingled as we walked out. I never got my ice cream. I never got to decide between strawberry and chocolate. That choice seems so stupid now, so small. But that's the last normal moment I remember. The last time I was just a kid thinking about ice cream. The alley was next to the store, dark. Even though it was only 4 in the afternoon, the buildings blocked the sun. Dumpsters lined one side. The smell hit me first. Rotten food, sour milk. Something else I couldn't name. There was no cat. I knew that immediately. My stomach knew, but my brain was slow to catch up. I opened my mouth to say, I don't see any cat, when his hand clamped over my face. Hard. So hard my teeth cut into my lip. I tasted blood, metal and salt. I tried to scream. I did scream. But his hand muffled everything. I bit down. I bit as hard as I could. I felt my teeth sink into the soft flesh between his thumb and finger. He grunted, pulled his hand back for just a second. I sucked in air to scream again. Properly this time, loud enough for Mrs. Chen to hear, loud enough for someone, anyone. But before the sound could leave my throat, something hit the side of my head. Not his hand, something harder. The world tilted. Everything went blurry. I heard ringing, high-pitched, like someone left the TV on after the station went off air. My legs stopped working. I was on the ground. When did I fall? Rough hands grabbed me, lifted me. I tried to kick. My foot connected with something solid. Maybe his leg. He didn't even grunt this time. I was moving, being carried. I saw the gray side of a van. The back doors were already open. Dark inside. So dark. He threw me in, not placed, threw. Like a bag of trash. My shoulder hit the metal floor. Sharp pain shot down my arm. The doors slammed shut. Darkness swallowed everything. I heard the driver's door open. Close. The engine started. We were moving. I pushed myself up. My head spun. I felt sick. The kind of sick where you know you're about to throw up, but you try to hold it down. I crawled toward the back doors. Maybe I could open them. Maybe I could jump out. My fingers found the handle. I pulled. Nothing. Locked. I pulled harder. Please, please, please. The metal bit into my palms. I yanked with everything I had. It didn't budge. There's no point. His voice came from the front. Calm, like he was telling me the weather. Child locks. They don't open from inside. I started pounding on the doors, screaming, banging my fists until they hurt, until I couldn't feel them anymore. Someone would hear. Someone had to hear. We were driving through the city. There were people everywhere, cars, pedestrians. Someone would see a kid screaming in the back of a van. Someone would call the police. Someone would save me. But no one did. The van kept driving. My throat went raw. My hands went numb. I slid down against the doors, crying so hard I couldn't breathe. I wanted my mom. I wanted my dad. I wanted my room with the puppy posters. I wanted to be home watching cartoons. I wanted to be anywhere but here. Time stopped meaning anything. Were we driving for 10 minutes, an hour? I couldn't tell. The van had no windows in the back. Just darkness and the smell of gasoline and something else. Something chemical that made my eyes water. Finally, the van stopped. I heard him get out. His footsteps crunched on gravel. I pressed myself against the far wall. Maybe if I was far enough back, he couldn't reach me. Maybe I could run past him when he opened the doors. I was small, fast. I'd outrun Jenny Martinez in gym class last week. I could do this. I had to do this. The doors opened. Light flooded in. Too bright. I squinted. Couldn't see his face. Just a dark shape against the light. I lunged, tried to run past him, but his arm shot out, caught me around the waist, lifted me like I weighed nothing. I kicked, screamed, bit at his arm. He didn't even flinch. Something rough went over my head. A bag. Burlap. It scratched against my face. Smelled like dirt and mold. I couldn't see. Couldn't breathe right. Panic took over. I thrashed, clawed at the bag. His grip tightened, squeezing the air out of me. "Stop fighting," he said, voice still calm, still soft. "You'll only make it worse." But I didn't stop. I couldn't. Every instinct screamed fight, run, do something. My nails found skin. I scratched, hard. I felt something wet. Blood, maybe. He cursed. Then pain exploded across my face. He'd hit me. My ears rang. Everything went fuzzy. My body went limp. Not because I wanted it to. It just happened, like my brain shut everything down to protect itself. I felt myself being carried, heard a door open, stairs. We were going down. The air changed, colder, damper, basement. We were in a basement. He dropped me. I hit the floor, hard, concrete. The bag came off my head. I blinked, tried to see. A single bulb hung from the ceiling, bare, dim. It swung slightly, making shadows dance on the walls. The room was small, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. Concrete floor, concrete walls, one door, a small window near the ceiling, covered with plywood. No furniture, just a ratty blanket in the corner and a bucket. I looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. He was maybe 40. Brown hair starting to gray, jeans, t-shirt. He looked normal. That's what scared me most. He looked like someone's dad, like a teacher. Like the guy who bags groceries at the store. Not like a monster, but his eyes, those flat, dead eyes. "Please," I whispered. My voice came out wrong. Too high, too small. "Please let me go. I won't tell. I promise. Please." He stared at me for a long moment. Then he smiled. That same wrong smile from the store. "You're going to stay here for a while," he said. "If you're good, nothing bad will happen. If you scream, if you try anything stupid, it'll be worse. Do you understand?" I nodded. What else could I do? He turned toward the stairs, stopped, looked back. "What's your name?" "Sarah," I whispered, "Sarah." He said it slowly, testing it. "That's a pretty name. My daughter's name was Sarah, too." Was. Past tense. I felt something cold slide down my spine. Where was his daughter now? He climbed the stairs. The door closed. I heard a lock click. Then another, then a third. 3 locks. I was alone. I pulled my knees to my chest, made myself as small as possible. I was shaking, couldn't stop. My teeth chattered even though I wasn't cold. Not really. Shock, probably. I'd learned about shock in health class. When something terrible happens and your body doesn't know how to process it, I counted my breaths. In, out. Mom taught me that when I got anxious before tests, count your breaths. Focus on something you can control. I made it to 50 before I started crying again. Big, ugly sobs that hurt my chest. I cried until there were no tears left. Until I was just making sounds, gasping, hiccuping. When I finally stopped, I looked around the room again, really looked. Survival mode kicked in. I'd seen a movie once where a kid escaped from kidnappers. What did he do? He looked for ways out. He made a plan. I could do that. I could make a plan. The door was solid wood. No window. 3 locks on the other side. The window was too small and too high. Even if I could reach it, even if I could break the plywood, I couldn't fit through. My eyes landed on the corner. Something glinted in the dim light. I crawled over. A nail. Rusty. Bent. But sharp on one end. I grabbed it, hid it in my sock. It wasn't much, but it was something. I pulled the blanket around me. It smelled musty, like it had been down here for years. As I shifted, my hand touched something else. Soft. Fabric. I pulled it out from under the blanket. A stuffed animal, a rabbit, gray and dirty. One ear was torn, stuffing coming out. I stared at it, a toy, a child's toy. My hands started shaking again. Other kids had been here. How many? What happened to them? I turned the rabbit over. On the back, written in faded marker, was a name, Emma. Who was Emma? Where was she now? I thought about what he said. My daughter's name was Sarah, too. Was. Past tense. His daughter was dead. Were there other Sarahs? Other Emmas? Was I going to end up like them? A past tense? A used to be? Footsteps above my head. Slow. Pacing. He was directly above me, walking back and forth, back and forth. What was he doing? Thinking, planning? The footsteps stopped. Right above where I sat. Silence. Long. Horrible silence. I held my breath. Was he listening? Could he hear me breathing? Could he tell I'd found the nail, found Emma's rabbit? After what felt like hours, the footsteps moved away. A door slammed somewhere. Then nothing. Just the sound of my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. I looked at the rabbit again, at Emma's name. I'm going to get out, I whispered to it, to her, wherever she was. I'm going to survive this, I promise. I didn't know if I believed it, but I said it anyway, because the alternative was giving up, and I wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. I was 8 years old. I liked puppies and ice cream and drawing pictures of horses. I had a best friend named Mia, who could do a cartwheel without using her hands. I had a mom who made the best spaghetti in the world, and a dad who told terrible jokes that always made me laugh anyway. I had a life, a real life, and I wanted it back. The bulb above flickered. For a second, everything went dark. My breath caught. Then the light came back, weak, unstable. How long would it last? What would I do in the dark? Don't think about it. Don't think about it. One thing at a time. That's what Dad always said when I got overwhelmed with homework. One problem at a time, kiddo. You can't solve them all at once, okay? One thing at a time. First thing, get these ropes off. My hands were tied behind my back, tight. The rope bit into my wrists. I could feel them swelling, getting numb. I twisted my hands, pulled, tried to slip them through. Nothing. The knots were too tight. Professional, like he'd done this before. How many times before? Stop. Don't think about that. Focus. I remembered the nail in my sock. If I could get my hands in front of me, maybe I could reach it. Use it to cut the rope. I lay on my back, pulled my knees to my chest, tried to slide my tied hands under my butt, under my legs. My shoulders screamed. The position was wrong, unnatural, but I kept pulling, kept trying. Almost. My shoulders felt like they were going to pop out of the sockets, just a little more. There. My hands slipped under my feet. I gasped. Tears of pain and relief ran down my face. My hands were in front now, still tied, but in front. That was progress. That was something. I reached down, pulled the nail from my sock. The metal was cold against my palm. I positioned it against the rope. Started sawing. Back and forth, back and forth. The nail kept slipping. The angle was wrong. My hands were shaking too much. Come on, come on. The rope fibers started to separate. Just a few, but it was working. I sewed faster, harder. The nail slipped, jabbed into my wrist. I bit my lip to keep from crying out. Blood welled up, warm and sticky. I didn't care. I kept going. More fibers separated, more. I pulled my hands apart, testing. The rope held, but it was looser, definitely looser. A sound from upstairs froze me. The door. He was coming back. I shoved the nail back in my sock, put my hands behind my back, tried to look like I hadn't moved. My heart hammered so hard I thought it would bruise my ribs from the inside. Footsteps on the stairs. Slow, deliberate. The door opened. He stood there, backlit by the light from upstairs. In his hands a tray. I saw a sandwich, a bottle of water. He was bringing me food. Hungry? He asked, like this was normal. Like we were at a picnic or something. I didn't answer, couldn't. My throat had closed up. He walked down, set the tray on the floor. Studied me, those dead eyes scanning my face, looking for something. What? Fear? Compliance? I gave him nothing. Just stared back. Tried to look braver than I felt. You should eat, he said. Keep your strength up. We have a long day tomorrow. Tomorrow. What did that mean? What happened tomorrow? I wanted to ask. Wanted to scream the question at him. But I kept my mouth shut. Anything I said might make it worse. Might make tomorrow come faster. He walked back to the stairs, stopped, turned around. I like you, Sarah, he said softly. You remind me of her. My Sarah. She was brave too, in the end. In the end. Those 3 words echoed in my head long after he left. Long after the door locked. Long after his footsteps faded. In the end. What end? How did his daughter's story end? And was mine going to end the same way? I didn't touch the food, couldn't. My stomach was twisted into knots so tight I thought I'd throw up if I even looked at that sandwich. The water bottle sat there, condensation forming on the plastic. I was thirsty. God, I was so thirsty. My throat felt like sandpaper. But what if he put something in it? What if he drugged it? I'd seen that in movies. The bad guy always drugs the food, but as hours passed, the thirst got worse. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. My lips cracked. I gave in, grabbed the bottle, examined it. The seal was intact, unbroken. Did that mean it was safe? Maybe. I twisted the cap. The crack of the seal breaking sounded loud in the silence. I took the smallest sip. Waited. Nothing happened. I took another, then another. Before I knew it, half the bottle was gone. The sandwich stayed untouched. I couldn't. Just couldn't. Instead, I went back to work on the ropes. The nails scraped against the fibers. One strand at a time. My wrists were raw, bleeding in places where I'd accidentally cut myself. But the rope was definitely weaker. Just a bit more. Just a bit more. Come on. A sound stopped me cold. Not from upstairs this time, from the walls. A scratching, light, rhythmic. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Pause, scratch, scratch, scratch. I held my breath. Listen. There it was again, coming from the wall to my left. Rats? Maybe. Old houses have rats. But something about the pattern felt wrong. Too deliberate. Too regular. I crawled closer to the wall, put my ear against the cold concrete. The scratching continued, then stopped. Silence for maybe 30 seconds. Then it started again. 3 scratches. Pause, 3 scratches. Like a pattern. Like a code. Like someone trying to communicate. Hello, I whispered to the wall. My voice barely made a sound. The scratching stopped immediately. Silence. Had I imagined it? Was I losing my mind already? Then it came back, faster this time, more urgent. Definitely not a rat. Someone was there. On the other side of that wall, another room, another prisoner. I grabbed the nail, started scratching back. 3 times, just like them. Stop, wait, nothing. Then the scratching again. Different pattern this time. Long, short, long, short. I didn't understand. Didn't know what they were trying to say, but I wasn't alone. Someone else was here. Someone else was alive. I scratched back. Random patterns. anything to keep the connection going. We went back and forth for maybe 10 minutes, then the other person stopped. No matter how much I scratched, they didn't respond. Maybe he came into their room. Maybe they had to stop. Maybe. I pressed my forehead against the wall. "I hear you," I whispered. "Wherever you are, I hear you." Hours dragged by. No windows meant no way to tell time. Was it night, morning? I had no idea. The light bulb stayed on. Constant. The only thing that changed was my exhaustion. I was so tired. But every time I started to drift off, panic would jolt me awake. What if he came back while I was sleeping? What if that's when he did whatever he was planning to do? Eventually, exhaustion won. My eyes closed. I didn't mean to sleep, didn't want to, but my body shut down without asking permission. I dreamed about home, about Mom making pancakes on Sunday morning, about Dad reading the newspaper at the kitchen table, about my dog Max jumping on my bed to wake me up. It felt so real, so normal. I could smell the pancakes, could hear Mom humming, could feel Max's wet nose on my cheek. Then the dream shifted, darkened. The kitchen melted away. I was in a forest, running. Something chased me. I couldn't see it, could only hear it. Footsteps behind me, getting closer, faster. I ran harder. Branches whipped my face. Roots grabbed at my feet. I fell, hit the ground, rolled over. He stood above me, that wrong smile, those dead eyes. He reached down. I woke up gasping, heart racing. For a second, I didn't know where I was. Then reality crashed back. The basement, the concrete, the smell of mold and fear. I was still here, still trapped. The nightmare was better than this. At least in nightmares, you eventually wake up. The door at the top of the stairs opened. His footsteps descended, slower than before, heavier. Was he tired? Drunk? I couldn't tell. He reached the bottom, looked at me, at the uneaten sandwich. His expression didn't change. He picked up the plate, the bottle, turned to leave, then stopped. "Tomorrow," he said without looking at me. "Tomorrow we're going somewhere special. Just you and me. You'll like it. It's quiet, peaceful. Nobody around for miles." My blood turned to ice. Nobody around for miles. That's where you take someone when you don't want them found. That's where bodies end up in movies, in news stories. I'd watched enough crime shows with Dad, watched enough true crime documentaries. When I was supposed to be asleep, I knew what somewhere special meant. He climbed the stairs, the door locked. 1, 2, 3. I counted each lock clicking into place. 3 barriers between me and freedom. 3 impossible obstacles. Tomorrow. I had until tomorrow. Maybe less. How many hours? 12? 6? I had no idea. The scratching started again, more frantic now. Had they heard him too? Did they know what somewhere special meant? I scratched back, hard, fast. The nail slipped, cut deep into my palm. I bit back a scream. Blood dripped onto the concrete. I didn't care. I kept scratching, kept trying to tell the person on the other side, we're running out of time. The response came back. Same 3 scratch pattern from before. Over and over, 3 scratches, 3 scratches, 3 scratches. What did it mean? 3 days, 3 girls, 3 chances. I couldn't figure it out. My brain felt fuzzy, slow. Fear and exhaustion were making it hard to think straight. Focus. I had to focus. Tomorrow he was taking me somewhere isolated. If I was going to escape, it had to be before then, or during the trip. When we were moving, that might be my only chance. Cars have doors, windows. If we stopped at a light, if we passed other people, I could scream. Break a window, something, anything. But first I had to get these ropes off. I went back to sawing. The nail bit into the rope, fiber by fiber. It was working but too slow, way too slow. My hands cramped. The cuts on my wrists burned. I switched angles, tried sawing from a different direction. The rope frayed more. One strand snapped, then another. Progress, real progress. A piece of rope fell away. My hands could move more freely now. Not free, but closer. I pulled, twisted. The rope cut into my skin. Drew more blood. I didn't stop. pulled harder. Something gave. The rope loosened. More, more. I yanked my right hand. It slipped through, free. One hand was free. I worked on my left hand. Unwound the rope. It fell to the floor. Both hands free. I stared at them. My wrists were raw, bleeding, bruised. But they worked. My fingers moved. I could use them. Small victory. Tiny victory. But it was something. Now what? The door had 3 locks. Even if I could pick them, which I couldn't, he was up there. He'd hear me, catch me, punish me. The window was still too small, too high. I was trapped. Free hands didn't matter if I couldn't get out of the room. Unless an idea formed, dangerous, probably stupid, but maybe the only option. When he came to get me tomorrow, my hands would be behind my back, like they were still tied. He wouldn't check. Why would he? The ropes were on the floor, but I could hide them. Kick them under the blanket. He'd think I was still bound, helpless. And when he got close, when he reached for me, I'd go for his eyes, his throat. Anything to surprise him, to get past him, to reach those stairs. It wasn't much of a plan. Probably wouldn't work. He was bigger, stronger, faster. But it was all I had. I gathered the rope pieces, shoved them under the blanket along with Emma's rabbit, positioned myself against the wall, hands behind my back. Practiced the position, made sure it looked natural, convincing. My mind wandered to Mom. Was she looking for me? Of course she was. She'd called the police the second I didn't come home. They'd be searching, organizing, putting my face on the news. Amber Alert. I'd learned about those in school. When a child goes missing, they send alerts to everyone's phones. Show the child's picture everywhere. Surely someone saw me get taken. Surely someone remembered the gray van, license plate number, something. But what if nobody saw? What if nobody remembered? It was a Tuesday afternoon. People were at work, busy, distracted, not paying attention to some kid on the street. Mrs. Chen hadn't even looked up when I left with him. If she didn't notice, why would anyone else? Stop. Don't spiral. Mom was smart. The police were good at their jobs. They'd figure it out. They'd find me. I just had to stay alive long enough for them to get here. That's all. Simple. Stay alive. How hard could it be? The light bulb flickered. Once, twice, went out completely. Darkness swallowed everything. Total, absolute. I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. Panic rose in my throat. I pushed it down, breathed, in through my nose, out through my mouth. Like Mom taught me. The darkness couldn't hurt me. It was just the absence of light, that's all. But in the darkness, every sound amplified. The scratch of something in the corner. My own breathing, too loud, too fast. The creak of the house settling, water dripping somewhere. Drip, drip, drip. Regular, maddening. I focused on it, counted the drips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Made it to 100 before the light flickered back on. I blinked. Spots danced in my vision. The room looked the same. Nothing had changed, but something felt different. Wrong. I scanned the space. The blanket had moved, just slightly. Had I kicked it? Or had something else moved it? I crawled over. Pulled it back. Gasped. Words. Scratched into the concrete floor. Hidden under where the blanket had been. Old scratches. Faded, but still readable. Names: Sarah, Emma, Lily, Jessica. 4 names, 4 girls. My name was there, but I'd never scratched it. Someone else had. Someone who knew a Sarah would be here. Someone who'd planned this. Below the names, more scratches. Tally marks. Groups of 5, 4 groups. 20 marks. 20 days. 20 girls. I traced the marks with my finger. The concrete was rough. Whoever had scratched this had used something sharp. Spent time on it. This wasn't a quick message. This was a record, evidence, proof. And below the tally marks, one more word. One word that made my heart stop. Run. Someone had survived long enough to leave a warning. To leave evidence. But where were they now? Had they escaped? Or had they become past tense like his daughter? I stared at that word, run. Simple, direct, clear. Good advice if I could figure out how. I grabbed my nail. Added my own message next to theirs. Scratched as hard as I could. Deep grooves in the concrete. If I didn't make it out, if tomorrow was my last day, at least there would be proof. At least the next girl would know she wasn't alone, would know others had tried. I wrote, Day 1, Sarah M., age 8. He said somewhere quiet tomorrow. If you find this, tell my mom I tried. Tell her I love her. The scratching on the wall started again. 3 taps, 3 taps. I tapped back 3 times. We did this for a while, our own language, our own code. I tried different patterns. They responded. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but it didn't matter. We were communicating. 2 prisoners in the dark, refusing to be silent. Then their tapping changed, faster, urgent, almost frantic. Something was wrong. I pressed my ear to the wall, heard muffled sounds, voices, his voice, angry, loud, a higher voice, younger, scared. Then a scream, cut off suddenly, a thud, silence. Hello? I whispered to the wall, tapped, waited, nothing. Are you okay? Tapped again, harder, desperate, still nothing. What happened? What did he do? Minutes passed, hours maybe, no response came. The person on the other side was gone, or couldn't respond, or worse. I was alone again, truly alone this time. No scratching, no tapping, just silence and my own terrified heartbeat. I pulled my knees to my chest, rocked back and forth. A self-soothing motion, something I'd done as a little kid when thunderstorms scared me. The motion helped, a little, not much. Time crawled. The light stayed on, steady now, no more flickering. I was too wired to sleep, too terrified of what morning would bring, somewhere quiet, somewhere isolated, somewhere nobody would hear me scream. I thought about Mom's self-defense class. She'd taken one a few years ago, came home teaching me moves, eyes, throat, groin, the vulnerable spots. Go for those and run. I practiced in my head, visualized it. He comes down the stairs, walks toward me. I wait until he's close. Right hand to his eyes, finger bent, scratch, dig, make him blind. Left hand to his throat, punch, hard, make him choke. Then run, up the stairs, through the door, outside, scream, find people, find help. It could work, maybe. If I was fast enough, strong enough, brave enough, if he didn't expect it, if the surprise gave me an edge, if, so many ifs. But what choice did I have? Wait to die. Let him take me to that quiet place? No, even if I failed, even if he caught me, at least I'd have tried. At least I'd have fought. I heard movement upstairs, footsteps, normal pace, casual. He was awake, starting his day, like this was normal, like he didn't have a child locked in his basement, like he wasn't planning murder. The mundane evil of it made me feel sick. How many times had he done this? How many times had he gone through his morning routine while a girl waited below? Terrified, alone, counting down her last hours. Water ran, pipes hummed in the walls. He was showering, making breakfast maybe, getting ready for his day, for our trip. My mouth went dry. This was it. Soon he'd come down. Soon everything would happen. Ready or not, live or die. I positioned myself, hands behind my back, head down, playing the part, beaten, scared, compliant. But inside I was a coiled spring, every muscle tensed, ready to explode, ready to fight. I thought about Dad. He always said I was tougher than I looked. You're a fighter, kiddo, he'd say when I got frustrated with a homework or lost a soccer game. Fighters don't quit. They get back up. They try again. Okay, Dad, I'm fighting. I'm getting back up. Watch me. The footsteps moved toward the basement door. This was it. The door opened. His shadow stretched down the stairs. Long, dark, monster-shaped in the dim light. He descended. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. He reached the bottom, looked at me, those dead eyes scanning, evaluating. Time to go, he said simply. Started walking toward me. I kept my head down, let him get close, closer. He bent down, reached for my arm. Now. I lunged, right hand to his face. Fingers aimed for his eyes, my nails connected, raked across his cheek. He jerked back, yelled. I didn't stop. Left hand to his throat. Punched as hard as I could. His hand came up. Caught my wrist, squeezed. Pain shot up my arm. He was too strong, too fast. You little, he snarled. His other hand grabbed my hair, yanked my head back. I screamed, kicked. My foot connected with his shin. He stumbled, just a little, just enough. I twisted, broke free, ran for the stairs. Got 3 steps up before his hand caught my ankle. Pulled. I fell. My chin hit the edge of a step. Stars exploded in my vision. Tasted blood. He dragged me back down, flipped me over, slapped me hard. My head snapped to the side. Ears rang. "Stupid girl," he hissed. "Stupid, stupid girl. You just made everything worse for yourself." He pulled rope from his pocket. New rope, thicker. Started tying my hands, tighter than before. The rope cut into my already raw wrists. I cried out. He didn't care. Tied my ankles too. I couldn't move now, couldn't run, couldn't fight. He'd won. I'd fail. He threw me over his shoulder, carried me up the stairs like I weighed nothing. Through a hallway, out a door, fresh air hit my face, cold. Morning air, I saw trees, a driveway, the gray van. He opened the side door, threw me in, on the floor this time, not a seat, the floor, like cargo, like trash. The door slammed, darkness again, but different than the basement. This darkness was moving, would keep moving, would take me somewhere I'd never come back from. The engine started, we began to drive. Every turn, every bump, every second took me further from home, further from help, further from any chance of survival. I tried to stay oriented, tried to count turns, left, right, straight, another left, but I lost track. Everything jumbled together. How long were we driving? 20 minutes? An hour? The van floor smelled like rust and oil. Something sharp dug into my ribs, a bolt or piece of metal. I shifted, tried to find a position that didn't hurt. There wasn't one. The van slowed, stopped. The engine cut off, silence. Then his door opened, closed, footsteps on gravel. The side door opened, light flooded in. Blue sky, trees, lots of trees, no buildings, no people, no cars passing by. He'd taken me somewhere remote, somewhere nobody would find me, somewhere I could scream forever and nobody would hear. This was it. This was the quiet place. This was where it ended. He reached in, grabbed my arm, started pulling me out. I didn't fight this time. What was the point? My hands were tied. My feet were tied. We were in the middle of nowhere. Fighting would only make him angry again, make him hurt me more. I went limp, let him drag me out of the van like a doll. My body hit the ground, dirt and pine needles, the smell of earth and decay, forest floor. He stood over me, breathing heavy, not from exertion, from something else. Excitement maybe, anticipation. This was the moment he'd been waiting for, planning for, the moment that made all of this worth it to him. I looked up at him, really looked at his face, tried to memorize it. If by some miracle I survived this, I'd need to describe him. Eye color, hair, the scar on his left cheek from where I'd scratched him. Every detail mattered. Brown eyes, graying brown hair, maybe 6 feet tall. Jeans, black t-shirt, work boots, a mole on his neck, small, dark, right side. He walked to the back of the van, opened the rear doors, pulled something out, a shovel. The metal gleamed in the sunlight. He tested the weight of it, looked at me, looked at the trees, calculating, deciding where to dig, where to hide what he was about to do. "Stay there," he said, like I could go anywhere, like I had a choice. He walked into the trees, 20 meters maybe, 30, far enough that I could barely see him through the branches, but I could hear the shovel breaking ground, the thunk of metal hitting earth. He'd started digging. This was it, my last chance. The plan I'd thought of in the basement. The memory that had come to me last summer, the fall from the swing, lying on the ground, unable to breathe, unable to move. Mom's face above me, terrified. She'd thought I was dead for those 20 seconds, thought her daughter was gone. Could I do it again? Could I make him think I was dead? Opossums do it, play dead when threatened. Predators lose interest in dead things. They want the chase, the struggle, the fear. Take that away and maybe, just maybe, he'd lose interest too. Leave me here thinking the job was done, and then I could run. But I'd have to be convincing, completely still, no breathing. Or breathing so shallow he couldn't see it. No blinking, no flinching, even if he touched me, even if he checked. I'd have to sell it. My life depended on selling it. The sound of digging continued, steady, rhythmic. He was making good progress. How deep does a grave need to be? 6 feet? That's what they say, right? 6 feet under. How long does it take to dig 6 feet? An hour? 2? I didn't know, didn't want to know. But every minute he spent digging was a minute I could prepare. I closed my eyes, practiced, held my breath, counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. My chest burned. I let the air out slowly. Through my nose, quiet, invisible. Tried again. Made it to 18 this time. Better, but not good enough. I needed longer. Needed to be able to hold it while he checked. While he touched me. While he decided if I was really gone. I thought about my body, how to make it look dead. Limp. That was key. No tension. Muscles completely relaxed. Eyes half open, maybe. That's what dead people look like in movies. Not fully closed, half open. Staring at nothing. And pale. I needed to look pale. But I couldn't control that. The fear had probably already drained the color from my face. The digging stopped. Silence. Then footsteps. He was coming back. My heart raced, too fast. He'd hear it, see my chest moving. I forced myself to breathe slower, deeper, calmer. Pretend you're sleeping. Pretend you're safe in your bed at home. Pretend this is just a bad dream. He appeared through the trees, sweat on his forehead, dirt on his hands, the shovel over his shoulder. He looked at me. I didn't move, didn't acknowledge him, just stared past him, at the sky, at the clouds drifting by, white and fluffy, innocent, beautiful. Wrong for a day like this. Time to go, he said. Walked toward me, bent down, grabbed my arm. I let my body go completely limp, dead weight. He grunted, adjusted his grip, started dragging me toward the trees, toward the hole he'd dug. My grave, branches scraped my back, rocks dug into my skin. I didn't react, didn't flinch, stay limp, stay dead. We reached the edge of the hole. I could see it now, deep. Maybe 4 feet, not 6, but deep enough. Dark earth, worms wriggling in the exposed soil, the smell of dirt, decay, death. He was going to put me in there, cover me up, leave me to rot. Unless the plan worked, unless I could make him believe. He dropped me. I fell, hit the ground hard. My shoulder took most of the impact. Pain shot through my body. I bit the inside of my cheek, tasted blood, didn't move, didn't cry out. Dead people don't feel pain. Dead people don't react. I was dead, I was dead, I was dead. He stood over me, breathing hard, staring down. What was he thinking? Was he having second thoughts? Feeling guilty? Or was he just tired from digging? I couldn't tell. Didn't dare look at his face. Just kept staring at nothing, at the sky, at the place where dead people's souls supposedly go. Damn it, he muttered. What did you do? You weren't supposed to, not yet, not like this. What did that mean? What did he think happened? I'd been tied up in the van, on the floor. Maybe he thought I'd choked, suffocated. Maybe the position had been wrong, cut off my air. And now I was, from his perspective, already gone, job done itself. Fate or luck or whatever, but done. He knelt beside me, reached out, touched my neck, fingers on my throat, looking for a pulse. I forced everything to slow down, my heart, my breathing, everything. Imagined myself floating, separate from my body, not here, not present, gone already. His fingers pressed harder, searching, finding nothing, or finding something too faint to matter. He pulled his hand back, stood up, paced, walked a few steps away, came back, looked at me again. Was he buying it? Please let him buy it, please. He crouched down, grabbed my shoulder, shook me, hard. My head lolled, arms flopped, completely loose, completely gone. He let go. I fell back, didn't move, didn't breathe. Come on, believe it. Believe I'm dead. Leave me. Go. Damn it, he said again. Louder this time. Angry, not sad, not remorseful. Just angry that I died wrong. Died too soon. Ruined his plans. whatever sick game he'd wanted to play. He kicked the dirt, cursed again, then walked away, back toward the van. His footsteps faded, crunched on dry leaves, grew distant. I didn't move, didn't dare. This could be a test. He could be watching, waiting to see if I'd react, if I'd give myself away. I stayed frozen, eyes half open, staring at nothing. Seconds passed, minutes. The sound of metal, the shovel. He'd picked it up again. Footsteps, coming back. He was going to bury me, right now, right here, while I was still alive. Terror flooded my system. Every instinct screamed move, run, fight. I clamped down on it, suffocated it, stay still, stay dead. The footsteps stopped, right next to me. The shovel scraped the ground. He was going to start, going to cover me. And I'd have to lie here, feeling dirt pile on top of me, covering my face, filling my mouth, my nose. And I still couldn't move, couldn't react. But the sound changed. The shovel wasn't hitting near me. It was further away, back at the hole. He was making it deeper. Why? If I was already dead, why make it deeper? Unless he wasn't convinced, unless he wanted me in the hole first. Wanted to be sure, wanted to bury me properly so nobody would find me. The digging continued, 5 minutes, 10, longer. My body started to ache. The position I'd fallen in, awkward, uncomfortable. My arm was twisted under me, going numb. Pins and needles. I wanted to shift. I wanted to move so badly, but I couldn't. One movement and it was over. He'd know. He'd kill me for real. Make sure this time. Something crawled on my face, small, light, an ant maybe. It walked across my cheek, toward my nose, onto my nose. I felt every tiny leg, every step. It tickled. Made my face want to twitch. I fought it, held still. The ant continued its journey, across my other cheek, down toward my mouth. It walked over my lips. The sensation was unbearable. My lip wanted to curl, wanted to blow air, scare it away. I didn't. Let it keep walking, off my face, onto the ground, gone. The digging stopped again. Footsteps, closer. He was coming. This was it. I felt hands on me, grabbing, lifting. He picked me up, carried me, my body swayed, arms hanging loose, head lolling back. I kept my eyes half open, saw the sky, upside down, spinning. Then movement stopped. He was at the edge of the hole. He swung me, once, twice, let go. I fell, 4 feet down, landed on my back. All the air rushed out of my lungs. I wanted to gasp, wanted to suck in air. I didn't. Stayed still. Pretended the impact hadn't affected me. Pretended I was already too far gone to feel it. Above me, his face appeared. Looking down, checking, making sure. "Goodbye, Sarah," he said quietly. Almost gentle, like he actually cared. Like he hadn't caused this, created this, chosen this. "You would have liked my Sarah. She was brave too." Then his face disappeared. I heard scraping, thudding, dirt. It was filling the hole. Dirt rained down, hit my legs first, cold, heavy, then my stomach, my chest. This was happening. I was being buried alive, and I still couldn't move, still had to play dead. Because if he knew, if he found out I'd tricked him, he'd make sure, put the shovel through my chest, my head, make certain I was really gone. Dirt hit my face, my mouth, some got in. I couldn't spit it out. Had to let it stay there. On my tongue, gritty, choking, more dirt. Covering my nose, I couldn't breathe, literally couldn't breathe. My lungs screamed, my body begged for air. Just a little more. Just a few more seconds. He had to run out of dirt soon, had to stop. Please stop. The dirt stopped falling. The weight lessened. I could breathe. Barely. Through a tiny gap. Air reached my nose. Not much, but enough. Footsteps above. He was standing on the dirt, packing it down, his weight pressed down. The earth pressed against me, crushing, suffocating. But I could still breathe, still had that tiny gap, that thread of air keeping me alive. More walking back and forth, packing the ground, making it look natural, making it look like forest floor, like nothing had been disturbed. Like a little girl wasn't buried underneath. Struggling to breathe, fighting to stay conscious, praying this would end soon. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then they started again, moving away, back toward the van. The engine started, I heard it, distant but clear. Gears shifted, tires on gravel. The sound grew fainter, quieter, until it was gone completely. He'd left. Actually left. Thought I was dead and buried. Drove away, left me here. I waited, counted, made it to 100. Still nothing. No sounds, no footsteps, no engine. He was really gone. I moved, just my fingers first. Wiggling. They responded. Then my arms. I pushed. The dirt was loose, not packed as solid as I'd thought. I could move it. I pushed harder, sat up. Dirt cascaded off me. I gasped. Huge gulping breaths. Air had never tasted so good, so sweet, so precious. I stood, climbed out of the shallow grave, 4 feet deep, but only 2 feet of dirt on top. Easy to get out of. I'd done it. The plan had worked. He thought I was dead, thought he'd buried me, and I was alive, standing free. But I was in the middle of a forest, miles from anywhere, hands and feet still tied, lost, alone. And he could come back, could realize his mistake, come back to check, to fix it. I had to move, had to get away from here, fast. I looked around, trees in every direction, no trails, no markers. Which way was the road? Which way had we come from? I tried to remember the drive, the turns, but I'd lost track. I picked a direction, started walking, more like hopping. My feet were tied together. I couldn't take full steps, just small hops. Slow, awkward, but moving, away from the grave, away from that place. The forest was dense. Branches grabbed at me. Roots tried to trip me. I fell, got back up, fell again. My tied hands made balance impossible. I landed on rocks, on thorns, on broken branches. Blood mixed with dirt on my skin. I kept going, had to keep going. After what felt like hours but was probably 15 minutes, I heard something, distant, mechanical, a car, a road. There was a road nearby. I changed direction, hopped toward the sound, faster, desperate. If I could reach the road, flag someone down, get help, I'd be safe. I'd survive this. The trees thinned, light ahead. Not just sun through leaves, brighter, open space. The road, I could see it, asphalt, gray, beautiful. The most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I hopped faster, burst out of the tree line. A car was coming. Blue sedan. I hopped into the road, into its path. The driver would have to see me, would have to stop. Brakes squealed. The car swerved, stopped. Driver's door flew open. An old man, gray beard, glasses. He stared at me, mouth open, face pale. I must have looked insane, covered in dirt, blood. Rope around my wrists and ankles, a ghost, a zombie, a nightmare. Help me, I managed, my voice cracked. Barely worked. Please help me. He moved, ran to me. Gentle hands on my shoulders. Oh my God, what happened? Who did this? He pulled a phone from his pocket, dialed. Yes, 911, I need police. Ambulance, I found a child. She's hurt. She's tied up. We're on Route 27, near mile marker 15. Route 27, mile marker 15. Those numbers saved my life. Within 10 minutes, sirens filled the air. Police cars, an ambulance, officers with kind faces, paramedics with soft voices. Someone cut the ropes. My wrists and ankles were free. Someone wrapped a blanket around me. Someone gave me water. Someone promised I was safe now. But the question came. The question I'd been dreading. Who did this? Where did he take you? Can you describe him? I told him everything. The store, the van, the basement, the names scratched in the floor, the other prisoner who'd stopped tapping, the drive, the grave, playing dead. They wrote it all down, radioed it in. Within an hour, they'd found the house, the basement, the scratches, the names. They'd found evidence of 4 girls before me. 4 girls who hadn't been as lucky, who hadn't thought to play dead, who were really gone. They found him too, 3 days later, trying to cross into Canada. Brown hair, brown eyes, mole on his neck. Everything I'd memorized, everything I'd described. They arrested him, charged him, eventually convicted him. 4 counts of murder, 1 count of kidnapping and attempted murder. Life in prison, no possibility of parole. He'd never hurt anyone again. The news called me a miracle, called my survival extraordinary, but I didn't feel miraculous. I felt lucky, terrified, traumatized. I had nightmares for years. Still do sometimes. I wake up feeling dirt on my face, hear the sound of a shovel hitting earth, smell the forest, the decay, the death that almost was mine. But I'm alive. I'm 32 now. I work as a therapist, specialize in trauma, help kids who've been through things nobody should go through. I help them find their strength, teach them they're not broken, not ruined, that survival is possible, that life continues, that joy still exists even after horror. I'm married, have a daughter of my own. She's 5, looks just like me at that age. And yes, I'm terrified every single day, terrified that the world will hurt her the way it hurt me. But I don't let fear win. I teach her to be strong, smart, aware. I teach her the things my mom taught me, the things that saved my life. Trust your gut. Scream if something feels wrong. Never be too polite to be rude if someone makes you uncomfortable. And sometimes, when she's sleeping, I look at her peaceful face and think about that 8-year-old girl lying in a forest, covered in dirt, holding her breath, fighting for life. And I'm proud of her, of me, of the strength it took to stay still when every instinct screamed to move, of the courage it took to bet everything on one desperate plan. I survived something that killed 4 girls before me. I'm the reason he's in prison, the reason he'll never do this again. And while I wish, God, how I wish, that I could go back and save those other girls, Emma, Jessica, Lily, and his daughter Sarah, I can't. All I can do is live the life they never got to have. Live loudly, live fully, live in a way that honors their memory. So that's my story. That's how an 8-year-old girl tricked a serial killer. How she played dead for 40 minutes while he buried her. How she clawed her way out of a grave and back into life. It's a true story. Every word, every detail. It happened to me, and I'm still here to tell it. If you're going through something right now, if you're trapped, scared, hopeless, remember this. You're stronger than you think, smarter than you know. The human will to survive is extraordinary, powerful, unbreakable. Don't give up. Don't stop fighting. Even when it seems impossible, even when the odds are against you, keep going, stay alive, because you never know. Your moment might be coming. Your chance might be right around the corner. Your miracle might be one breath away. And if you know someone who needs to hear this story, someone who's struggling, someone who feels like giving up, share it. Tell them about the 8-year-old who refused to die, who bet everything on playing dead, who made it out when nobody thought she would. Tell them that if I could do it, they can too. Whatever they're facing, whatever they're fighting, they can survive it, they can win. Before I go, I want to ask you something. What would you have done in that basement? Would you have fought, played along, tried to escape? Would you have thought of playing dead? Or would you have done something completely different? Leave your answer in the comments. Let's talk about survival, about strength, about the choices we make when everything's on the line. And if this story affected you, if it made you think, made you feel something, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because these stories matter. Survival stories, true crime, real experiences. They remind us that evil exists, but so does resilience. So does courage. So does hope. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my story. It wasn't easy to tell, but it needed to be told for Emma, for Jessica, for Lily, for Sarah, and for every person out there who's fighting their own monsters. You're not alone. You're never alone. And you're stronger than you know. I'm Sarah Mitchell, and I'm a survivor.